Hey, it's Christian here with WildHawk Physical Therapy. Today, I want to go over a few common mistakes that we often see with people when they're trying to do an overhead shoulder press. Now, this can be with dumbbells, a barbell, standing or sitting. Today's example, I'm just going to show with some light dumbbells and is sitting on a bench, like a traditional bench that you might see at a gym where you go to, or maybe you have one at home. So the biggest first mistake that we see a lot of times with this is a core stability issue. So people aren't tightening up their abdominals and legs in preparation for this overhead movement. And what often happens is we get a lot of people overarching, overextending in their lower back. And they're using too many of the spinal muscles here rather than truly their core and overhead shoulder press muscles. So a big thing I have people do is just gently brace your abdominals. Think about kind of tightening up the legs a little bit as you do this overhead press and not allowing that lower back to arch. The second part is we see that people end up overextending at the wrist, and this can cause wrist issues, wrist pain, wrist injuries in the future if done too long. So just thinking about gripping a little bit tighter and holding that like so. The next piece that we see is when people end up reaching overhead, their elbows flare way out to the side. We want to think about keeping kind of the straight line of that forearm in line with the shoulder by the end of the motion. And then the last piece is when you press overhead, we want it to be directly up overhead, okay? We don't want it to be forward or out to the side. So we want to tighten up the core, make sure the lower back isn't arching, make sure the wrists are gripping and not overextending, and then we can press straight up overhead and then come back down. So those are just a few common mistakes that we see. Try to incorporate those into your program so that you can avoid injuries. You can lift stronger, heavier, and not have to worry about pain with this type of exercise. Let us